and we care about who we are as people, and we have attributed value to our lives because of the journey that we've gone through to get to this point where we care about ourselves, do you not think that the happiness that is around in the world that is ready to be derived would not be derived because we've become a beacon of our own happiness? Do you
Run
not
that
think
by
that we would deserve that happiness because of the journey we've gone through?
run that
The
by me one more
entire
time. No,
journey
no, no.
was for
I
happiness.
was literally zoning out. Sorry. So repeat everything you said.
If you care about yourself, Luke,
Yeah.
and you truly love yourself,
Okay.
do you not think that the happiness around the world, which is ready to be derived, and because you've become your own beacon of happiness through your self resilience and your mental strength, would you not be deriving that happiness? Because you owe it to yourself and your
No,
journey
I'm not
and
saying
your.
like once you be. I'm not saying like once you become. I'm not saying like once you become a beacon. I'm saying like the transition from loving yourself and caring about yourself. Like how does that mean? How does that like explicitly like
Loving
feel like
yourself,
oh
care about yourself is the same thing. Those are not two different things.
sure yeah. So how do
I
those two
disagree.
things okay I just even though I'm saying sure because I'm just gonna assume that's true. Let's assume that's true. How do those two things make you so that you feel like you deserve happiness? So like let's go back to the
I just
objective
explained
world.
that, didn't I? When
No,
you care about yourself, Luke,
yes.
you care about yourself, correct?
Me? Like now?
No. I'm saying like when you care about yourself,
Okay.
right? That will make you want happiness. Inherently, if you care about yourself, you want happiness.
Okay, I see.
Do you disagree with that? Because if you
Because
fundamentally disagree with that, you're
okay,
incorrect. That is a
if
fundamental,
you care about
evident
yourself,
truth.
I think it goes
If you
all the
care
way
about,
you
around.
don't want
If you
to
want to
necessarily.
achieve happiness, you need to care about yourself.
then why does it not work the other way?
No,
What the fuck? You proved my
Shakar.
point.
No, Shakar is right. But the thing is no.
Like, explain to me this. If you cared about yourself, would you want to feel depressed? Like, that makes no fucking sense, right? The antonym is that is if you care about yourself, you would want to feel happy. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about what happens
And
to you.
this
The
also
whole point of caring is that you want happiness. Because remember,
Okay,
we're
you're right.
balancing
You're
our
right.
mental health, right?
no, he's
Not
right.
caring,
Yeah,
bad mental health. Caring, good mental health. How do we have good mental health?
Yeah.
Happiness. How do we get happiness? By caring about yourself.
No, no, Shikar,
Full
you're right
circle.
about that. Yeah, yeah.
no, Shakar is right. For
My
instance, it's
statement was
not just like
dumb.
happiness. It's happiness in every sense. Like, there's no way to counter that part. Because if you look at like what happiness is, even if it's like if what one considers
But look,
selflessness.
don't confuse two things though. What we're doing right now What we're doing right now, that's real happiness, right? But
Mm.
Tarquin, you and Luke are not giving me happiness, right? This conversation isn't even giving me happiness.
It's
Nothing
just
is
a
giving me
fucking,
happiness.
fucking
What
hard
is
ass
giving me
diss on
happiness?
us. You're not
But
giving me happiness.
but here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. This is very important to recognize.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Me being in this moment is giving me happiness.
Mm,
Does that make any sense at all? This conversation, what we're doing, this warrants no happiness whatsoever. But the fact that I'm in this moment, the fact that I'm here, the
Your
fact that I'm
presence,
able to experience this, that is what happiness
your
is.
presence in the present is what's giving you happiness.
Exactly.
Because
The
it
mm,
allows.
moment I learn to live in the present and not worry about the future, not worry about the past, the moment I learn to do that because I care about myself, because I'm a beacon of happiness, because I'm a beacon of my own self strength and my own self resilience, because I'm able to do all these things because I care about myself and I fulfill my basic needs, I'm able to live in the moment and truly derive the happiness from this. You are not giving me happiness. This conversation is giving me happiness. The fact that I'm in this moment able to do this with you guys, that is where the happiness lies.
Mm,
alright.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
mm.
There is no happiness
I
in
mean, I
whatever
see
the
something
fuck we're doing.
specific to you. To you.
What do you mean?
I see something specific to you.
Is it really though? I
No,
think
that's very evident truth.
almost
Like,
the thing is the scary thing about what Shakar is saying is it's like it's almost a bunch of inherent truths that are back to back to each other.
like Tarquin, you realize the moment I start feeding off of you guys for my happiness, that's not me loving myself and becoming a beacon of happiness. That's me relying on you guys,
And Shakar, like
hanging on you guys like I'm off the deep end. I don't know how to swim.
it's funny how like every literally the thing is like I think the part I was challenging is everything Shikar said. Like I realized, but I haven't connected in a smooth fashion like he has.
I
To the
mean, it takes
point
time.
where I think it's more because everything that you make sense, everything that you've said, I have arrived at one point. It's just I haven't like connected, untied them together cleanly. Hmm.
You are responsible for your own happiness, nobody else. You
Mhm.
have the power to change everything, and you have the power to destroy everything. Nobody makes you angry, you make yourself angry. Nobody makes you sad, you make yourself sad. That can be a reaction to something that somebody else did, but you have the power to choose to be sad or be angry. I'm not saying
Yeah.
being sad is a bad thing. I'm saying being sad is a good thing. You need to be sad to be able to value the good moments. And you need to be good to value the sad moments, right? There needs to be a natural balance of things. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have the power to control those things, but
Yeah.
only you do. The
Yeah.
moment you start relying on other people for those things, you don't love yourself, you don't care about yourself, and you're hanging off the deep end, hanging on other people's shit by a thread.
Now repeat the whole last part with you don't care about yourself. Like, how do you get to that logic?
If you rely on other people for happiness,
Mm-hmm.
you don't care about yourself.
All right.
Because if you did care about yourself, you wouldn't have to rely on other people. You would love yourself. You would care about yourself enough to be present in the moment and realize, wow, I'm able to have this conversation right now because I cared about myself, because I loved myself,
Okay.
because I
Like,
took care of
what
myself.
about like a thing? It doesn't have to be a person. Like, say
You're
like
li-
a video game, right? Like you rely off a video game to make yourself happy temporarily, right?
If you were able to recognize
By
in
your
the
logic,
moment
that mean
that this video game isn't making me happy, the reason I'm happy is because I'm able to play this video game and I'm able to derive happiness from this video game because I am able to play because I took care of myself. If you were able to make that connection, then yes, you are doing it correctly for if you want to say it like that. Remember, these things aren't making you happy. It's like the same logic. I'm not making you mad, Tarquin. You are able to control your anger. That way, the video game isn't making you happy. You have the ability to control whether or not it affects you or not.
How
I mean,
how is that
okay,
true?
okay. I mean,
Luke,
it's true
Luke, listen.
and wrong at the same time, Shikar.
No,
Right?
I
Because
truly believe
on a
that
social
nobody
level,
can
right?
ever make you mad.
Like
Okay,
with like
does the
social like
truth come
ideas
from
and constructs, we can break it down in our minds and understand like why some some ways we get angry at things, right? And we
does
can
the
know,
truth
okay,
come from
we
your
don't
way
have to
of
get angry at this, but you
does the
still have
truth
like that initial biological response to something that might make you angry or sad or
does your
upset.
truth come from like oh sorry does your uh, how are you gonna say does your
Luke, do
hmm,
you believe that people can make you angry?
yeah that's what we were talking about again. So
Do you believe that anybody can make you angry?
okay, the thing is to answer that is that's a slippery slope. And you can easily that can easily become a slippery slope fallacy. So
No, explain it. Like, do you think anybody can make you sad?
now, yeah, I'm going to like talk to you about this. So the thing is there's two ways one can approach this question. One can approach this question from like a very simple, very like surface level standpoint of like A interacts with or like A interacts with B and like creates a result of on B or A. So for instance, if you take A, like if you take you for instance, like a you made me sad, right? The thing
Hmm.
is that an action that person decided to do made me or like another person sad feel like an action they did or chose to do made that person feel sad based on what they feel and what makes them sad. But the thing is the thing is yeah, what they base what makes them feel, they're the one that bases what makes them feel sad. That is something that they can change too with not maybe not with free will, but with like eventual like thought and with eventual like effort. I guess is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? That because that person has the ability to control what makes them feel a certain way, that
Luke,
they're also
Luke,
huh?
your mom is fat.
Okay.
Why aren't you angry right now? I said something with the intent to hurt you,
Seriously.
yet you're not angry. Why'd you laugh? No, you should be angry right now. But you
No,
aren't. You have the ability to control whether you're angry or not. You decided in that moment to laugh. You're not angry, obviously, right? But I said it with the full ass intent of hurting your feelings. Yet you decided to laugh. You have the ability to be angry or be sad there. You are in control of whether or not you make yourself angry, you make yourself laugh, you make yourself sad. You're in control. What I'm just doing as a proponent, you have the ability to take that any way you want. And if you need any further fucking evidence, here's this. There's monks who literally meditate for hours to get that feeling of numbness to what people say. They're able to process that and control
okay.
their feelings and are able
The
to
thing
present
Alright,
that
is,
I
emotion.
mean,
yeah, the thing is not everyone is able to do that inherently. For instance,
dude,
like I like, even though you said that, like that still didn't feel great. Hearing those words come out of your mouth still didn't feel great. I knew like what you're doing immediately, and it was funny to see that like unexpected turn of events. But there was still a part of me that was like at like a like even like a basic degree hurt by that, because it was
Then
like
why didn't you
I
get
was
angry?
meant to be
You were able to
insulted.
suppress that emotion, right?
Sure, but that's not something that I would always be capable of doing in a certain scenario,
wait, okay. I want to throw my 2 cents in on this. Right.
because they're by huh?
Wait, Luke, finish your thought first.
Because the thing is okay, there are like biological like factors that will like allow you to feel to feel certain ways or to make you feel
So
certain
years and years of study and research that have gone into anger management, you think are just worthless? You think that that doesn't exist? You think anger management is just it's not real? Biological, you know, biological movements in your body overpower anger management. Anger management, by the way, which has been studied for over 100 years, you're disregarding all of that. You don't think it exists?
No, because the thing is actually what you're saying is completely out of line with what anger management is. Because anger management is management, not cancellation. It's not like a full
Yeah.
control of how you feel,
Exactly. You were able to manage your emotion,
but
right?
not
No, Shikar,
entirely.
but what you were saying earlier, like as Luke said, you canceled it out. You're like, well, if you just think about it, you don't have to be upset.
For instance, what I
That's absolutely correct. You don't have to be upset, but what you can do is this. Watch, look. I'll give you an example, right? I said your mom is fat.
yeah
Sorry. Sorry. One second. So I said your mom is fat, right?
yeah
You could be happy, you could be sad. I don't know why you'd be happy. Maybe you want your mom to be fat. Maybe that's what your mom is trying where you're like, yeah, mom, let's go. You're becoming fat now. You could be sad. Oh no, my mom is becoming fat. I have a fattest mom. You could be angry. Why do you call my mom fat? Or you could just be like, yeah, dude, my mom is fat. Like that's an inherent truth and that's evident. And she's becoming bigger, right? But like what really matters there, and this is what really truly matters, is the fact that I didn't make you mad. I didn't make you sad. I didn't do any of those things. Your brain is processing a chemical which is making you do that. That's your brain. That is you
okay
doing that.
yeah
Wait,
I'm
this
not making you mad. You realize that's a logical fallacy, right? I didn't make you mad.
sure.
I said something, your brain in reaction made you mad.
yeah, but
That's
you
not
elicited the response, right? There's like a primal response
okay.
that you
No, let's
have
go with that
within your
logic.
brain. No, no,
Five.
no. Please let me just. I've been waiting,
Yeah.
fucked
Okay,
up,
say it.
like
Say it.
very
Say
long
it.
to say this,
Say
right?
it.
You have a primal response to anything, right? This think of this as like a multiplier, sort of, to like how you will react to an event, right?
Mm-hmm.
W- Right. So say like what you said to Luke, right? There's barely like a primal response that you get from something like that, and that's why it's so easily manageable to deconstruct it from like a if the use like your head to actually boggle down what's going on, deconstruct like human like what do you say?
Scar,
I guess
I just want to say
constructs.
this. Are you
Look,
under the belief? Well, this is actually really important to pinpoint. Are you under the actually? I want to let you talk. Respond to Tarquin first.
okay. Let's take the number two, right? What is 5 times 2? 10, right? Wait, fuck. Everything just went black on my screen. Oh, fuck. Nigger display. Okay. Flag you to fuck team. Literally my.
By the way, I started recording like 10 minutes ago just because, or whenever I
Okay.
mentioned the podcast thing.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying though. What is 5 times 2?
And
10, right?
Mhm.
So 2 turn into 10. You could make that leap of logic that Luke is making, or that you guys are making, saying that somebody else is making you angry, right? That, oh, that guy said something, that's why I got angry, right? You can make that leap of logic. 5 times 2 is 10, therefore anything times 5 must be plus 8, because we went from 2 to 10. But now we have the number 3. What is 5 times 3?
15.
8 plus 3 is not 15.
You said times. 3 times
No, no, no.
5.
So look, 5 times 2 is 10. We went
Yeah.
from 2 to 10. That's plus 8. So anything
Oh,
times 5 must be that number plus 8. But that's obviously not true when we go to 3, right? So we
alright.
have something, we have a reaction being added to it, and it should elicit the same response, right? That's what we're saying here, right? Except when we add that same reaction to a different number, it's not eliciting the same response. But you guys are still saying that anything times 5 should still be plus 8 based off of one response. That's not how things work, right? You're making the wrong connection.
I don't understand the argument that you're making.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Actually,
I honestly.
Let me put it back into context. So let's say that I say, Luke,
Mm.
your mom is fat.
Yeah.
You laughed,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
You could also be angry. You could also be sad. You could also be whatever, right? Whatever. Your brain is doing that, right? I'm times 5ing you. That doesn't mean it's plus 8ing you, okay? It's a varied response that can be completely varied. Just because I'm doing something doesn't mean it's being plus 8ing. It's times 5. It's a very variable emotion that you can have, right?
Okay.
I mean,
I
okay,
get
but
what that means, but I don't see how that holds
The
good over
logic you guys are making is a plus 8 logic, and the logic I'm using is a times 5 logic.
I don't understand what you mean by plus 8 at all. I'm gonna be honest with you, but like
5
with
times
this
2 is
with the
10. We
situation
went
with
from 2 to
the
10.
your mom was fat, right? There's that. I'm gonna go back to my original argument, or like what I said before, was that you have your primal response, right? But it's so little when it comes to a statement like that. It's so easy to just boggle down or like deconstruct what happened, right?
Sure. I
Because
need to ask, like, I need to ask you something like this. Is very important. Do you believe that humans as a species have free will over their emotions?
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you love yourself,
a complete free range of
Like a
control,
complete
or like
free
there's
will.
an influence,
yeah,
but
nobody can ever make you do anything. You will always make that choice to do it. Nobody will ever. There will be a choice in your brain, a moment in your brain where you go, I'm going to do this. There will never ever be a moment where somebody can just trigger something in you like a PTSD war veteran. That will never happen, ever, if you care about yourself and you love yourself.
I'm sorry, that's just bull.
That's not true, Tarquin. Look, there's not some kind of switch in you.
Then couldn't
That
you just say, "I want to be happy"? If you had full control of your emotions and
well,
just
do
be
you care about
happy,
yourself? If you care
just
about
based off of
yourself,
that? No, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
you can. You can. If
Just
you
based
care
off
about
saying, "I
yourself,
want
you
to be
can be
happy."
happy. No, just off based off saying it, that doesn't matter. You can
No,
say anything and it won't work. But if you care about yourself, then you can do it for fucking
Tarquin,
100%.
free will doesn't mean free will doesn't by like literal sense mean that because I want to arrive at a destination I will and will immediately. It just means the potential to. So that's
I mean,
what free will means in this case.
everyone has the free will to like
My
work
argument
towards
is based
something,
on
but
this. I think
yeah.
you're forgetting what my argument is based on. I think you are taking like certain parts of a different
I'm
argument
still
that's
trying to
not a
figure out
part
what
of
your
mine.
argument is in the first place, dude.
If you care about yourself, you will pursue happiness, you will control your emotions, and you will make sure that you do everything in benefit of happiness because you care about yourself and you care about being a beacon of happiness.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
giving you guys an argument as to why you should care about yourself. Because caring about yourself, it seems meaningless in a meaningless life where nothing will ever amount to anything.
Hmm.
But
All
what
right.
I'm presenting is an argument that gives meaning. What meaning? You don't even need a fucking. But what does it mean? The
Now, I
meaning is to
agree with
care
that.
about
You have
yourself.
influence over it, right? You can work towards like a goal like that, but back to like the emotional
What is
thing.
more
This
probable? Attaining happiness without caring about yourself and without loving yourself, or doing it with?
I agree. Yeah, if that's what you want, you can
I
work
think you've
towards it.
answered your own question. If I think about
But no,
attaining,
I
can I
mean,
do it? Yes, you
I'm
can if you care
ignoring
about
like that side of things, right? I'm going back to the argument if you can't, no one can make you feel an emotion. That's just
No,
wrong.
that's absolutely true. If you
Ah,
care about yourself enough, you will realize that, hey, I shouldn't get angry over this. This is going to raise my blood pressure, will be bad for my health. Maybe I should take things calm and take things smooth. That's what they teach you in
there's still
anger
the
management
biological
class.
factor that can outweigh, and that's why like you see people who have a history of like anger problems have offspring who have anger problems.
And guess what? Those people don't care about themselves. If you care about yourself and you love yourself and you're trying to attain happiness, you will never, ever react like that.
So you're
And
saying
that's
the
a
ability
fucking
to
fact,
care about yourself is a biological
directly
thing on its
related
own?
to you. Okay, okay, Tarquin, if you want to like argue about that, look at monks who are
That's the
trying to
same thing.
attain enlightenment.
Yeah,
They're tested. They will never get angry ever at anything. How do you think they attained that?
by working really hard to go towards it. But it is,
Is that not equal to the value you have to attribute to your life from the journey that you go from being suicidal to being somebody who cares about their life
but that's
and
something
cares
that,
about being a beacon of happiness? That's the same amount of work that they put in too.
yeah, it's something that they work towards to resist. But in the start, like when they were first burned, they still are made to have an initial response. They weren't always like that. And there's probably many people who've been rejected to
Exactly.
become
But
a
here's what I'm
full
saying though. Here's what I'm saying
monk.
though. This
But
is what I'm saying, Tarquin.
his argument is that free will is
Tarquin,
possible.
if you're able to change your emotions at the very end when you've attained that ability to do that, that means you could have done it all the way in the beginning. Therefore, nobody makes you angry. You choose to be angry. Only later you can
No,
control that anger.
it's like
It's not
on a
a
Tarquin, you're
psychological level.
disproving your own point and then contradicting yourself. Look, we have just stated that you have accepted the fact that monks are able to control their abilities and
they
control
are.
their
it's a
emotions.
built-up thing, right?
Yeah, but
Your brain
what
will have a
Tarquin
different chemical
That means that
response
they
later
had
on
the
because it's
ability,
through conditioning.
but then that means, Tarquin, that you are admitting to the fact that they had the potential, that anybody has the potential to do that from the
At
beginning.
the start,
And
no,
we
because
are
they didn't
told,
have the conditioning to change that initial response in their brain.
Tarquin,
It's not
you're
always the
admitting
same.
that you're admitting that anybody has the potential to achieve that moment where they're able to
Yeah,
remove their emotions, right? And that is what we're purely talking about. With free will, you
I
have the
mean,
this is a
yeah,
potential
basic.
to
This
do
is
it.
a
but
basic.
in the moment, Shikar, not in the future, right?
This is a basic communication error. This is a basic communication error. Basically, what Shakar, what Tarquin is saying is or actually, yeah, Shakar, what Tarquin is saying is that um it's not because they don't at the moment of them like like trying to like change or choose their emotion or change how they feel, they're incapable of doing it at that time. So it is not like their choice.
Oh yeah, no,
However,
there's
like
totally an
Tarquin,
implicit reaction, but you have the ability to
and it
choose what
takes
you
time.
do with that.
But you have the ability to eventually change it, and that's basically you guys are like you have like, are it's like the semantics. Basically, you guys both agree on the fact that
But remember,
um
Tark, they're not making you angry. Your brain is processing what they said, making a chemical and pushing it into your fucking hormone system, telling you to either get angry, get sad, get happy, whatever. Remember, you're still making that happen no matter what. They said something. Turquin, and this is what proves my point. If you blocked that chemical from being sent to your brain and somebody said something to make you angry, would you still get angry if they blocked out that chemical
Yeah,
completely?
but it's just
No,
not
you
possible
wouldn't.
because
You wouldn't get angry
how
because
you're
that
built as a
chemical.
human. You can't just block it on its own, right? There will always be a response, right? What you can do is build up a resistance through
No,
anger
Tarquin,
management.
I think you just missed the point. If I were to block that chemical completely, there are people who have blocks of serotonin, there are people who have blocks of dopamine. You can do that by smoking a lot of weed or doing a lot of fucking heroin. If we developed a drug that would block the fucking anger receptor or block the anger hormone, Tarquin, and somebody said something which was supposed to anger you and you didn't feel anger, that proves that the anger is on your end. What they're saying is not inherently making you angry. You are making yourself angry.
but are you who is you? Is you as your whole like just the organism
It
of you, or
there's like
you as your mental consciousness?
Your
like
mental
Shikar,
consciousness
Shikar, there,
and
Well, then
there's two
your body's
views.
your biology and your physiology imposes something upon your consciousness that's out of your control.
exactly. But then you have the ability to control that. But it's not out of your control though.
Yeah,
It is in your
Shikar,
control.
Shikar. There's two yous. There's like your primal you, right? Where all your genes and shit are based off, like built up off of, and then there's the you that's been nurtured in the new world, right? That you've
No,
grown up
there's
in.
only one you. Why would you ever think there's two yous? That makes no sense.
That's just literally there's, huh?
There's only one of you. You were only
Why do you think
one.
we don't fucking act like monkeys, like walking about in the wild right now? We have.
Our
Because
primal
Tarquin,
senses are
you
developed
okay,
from our
Tarquin?
ancestors, which
I'm
are
just gonna
monkeys.
say, Tarquin, what you're saying doesn't make any sense because basically you're saying there's a natural you, but there to like even have a developed version of a natural person, you can't simply say there's a
Tarquin,
natural.
just because we evolved from primates doesn't mean we are still
No, no,
primates.
no. Listen,
We're
no.
evolved of that.
Okay, no, we're still primates. Okay, but that's not okay.
No, no,
Not
but I'm saying that we're not monkeys. We're not. We don't
okay.
have a
Sure.
second half of us, which is a monkey. Like that's not true. Like
Okay, no, but what Tarquin is saying is that okay, without nurture, there is a that side of us will come to be.
Hmm.
Well, which that isn't in
not facts.
po-
That's not true.
but
Have you never seen a feral person before?
no, which
Have
is
you never
possible.
seen the movie The Room
Okay, okay,
where this girl
listen.
was born in captivity and she was like raised for 11 years in just a one single room and she was still human like she came out, spoke perfect English, she was completely normal and she was abused the entire time. Like if that's not proof, I don't.
That's probably
But
just a case study, but
the
that's
thing is
still
though,
like.
is like Tarquin, like that person, even without like any quote unquote nurture, still went through environmental so it's impossible to not go through an environment. That is impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and development. The thing is your environment affects your development. So
Yeah,
there is
and there's
nothing
like a
besides
societal
One
one, there's a
side
human
smokes
development,
crack,
and
the
there's
other one is a monkey.
wait,
That's what Tarkin is saying.
wait, say that again, Tarquin?
there's okay, there's a development where you can go through a society, or there's one where you can just be out like what do you say, like in the wilderness or so,
Are you
right?
saying there's two
Those
possibilities? Because the way you said it was under the implication that like as humans develop normally within society, they develop two parts of them. There's a nurture side developed that like is your like logical like
or it's not
nurturing.
like it developed two parts of them. I think like
I think what you're trying
that
to
primal
say.
level is always the same, but like as someone as a human is raised through society, right, it can easily overcome
I think what you're
a
trying
lot
to
of the
yeah.
primal instincts.
What you're trying to say is humans are inevitably born with instincts and our nurturing and our like what is taught to us will eventually like
Okay, so
does and
we have
can
a few
overcome
logical
the
we have a few incorrect like logical assumptions here.
mm,
Just because we evolved from primates who had primal urges and because we still retain those primal like urges doesn't make us monkeys or doesn't mean we have a monkey side. We evolved from that and that led us to having these primal, like hormones which are like, fight
like
or flight, you know, sense of
do,
urgency, right?
do
Sense
you
of
think
anxiety.
this wait do you think that humans have obtained perfect free will? Do you think it's not possible for another version or for humans to progress and gain more free will from their bodies than is already like obtained by humans?
I feel like we have forever to evolve. But what's the point on focusing of what we're going to become when we don't even care about ourselves right now? Like that shit doesn't even matter,
No,
bro. Like
because
free will is bullshit. All that free will, fate will bullshit, that shit doesn't matter. You have the ability
Earlier you were
to
saying that
care
you.
about yourself and love yourself. If you have the ability to do that, whatever you want to call it, free will, fate, whatever the fuck you want to call it, anybody in the world has the ability to love themselves, no matter what. I believe that. If you
you're
care about
talking
yourself, you
this
put in the work,
this this is derived because we're talking about like controlling your controlling your like
emotions.
emotions. Yeah.
Why do you want to control your emotions?
No, it's not why. It's like how is it even possible? Is it safe to assume that one can easily just control their emotions and that
No, but it is safe to assume that nobody's making you feel a certain way. It is safe to assume
Mhm.
nobody's ever making you feel a certain way. You are reacting to what somebody's saying and you're making yourself feel that way. But nobody's ever making you feel a certain
make so
nobody's like
your conscious self is making your conscious self feel that way.
exactly.
But like we've haven't we just concluded that like they're we're not concluded we're under all this is arguing this like the idea that there's still like there are natural things that disallow you from your conscious self controlling your consciousness, like emotions.
Yes, but haven't we also concluded that if we were to block the angry hormone that goes in your body when somebody says something that's supposed to anger you, you wouldn't feel anger. Therefore, the stuff that makes you angry is on your
Sure,
end,
but
on their end.
sure, but
Mathematically speaking, they are not making you
but this
angry.
is this is again where we've run into the fallacy of your, because now you're calling your two things. Now you're calling your body as an organism and your conscious self, even though before you just called it you as your conscious.
No, I'm saying you, like you as a person, you are getting angry,
You as a
right?
person, or you as an organism, as like a being, or you as your conscious.
Okay, so let's break something down, right? I say your mom is fat.
Sure.
Your brain says, "Oh my god, what the hell?" Sends a fucking signal.
Yeah.
Angry hormone release. Releases the angry hormone. You yell back, Shikar, your mom is a nigger, right? As like a
Yeah.
response to like,
Yeah.
you know, like be angry, right?
Yeah.
Now, we take out that angry hormone from your body completely, okay? Block that shit, jack you up on heroin, okay?
Yeah.
Luke, your mom is fat. Brain, send out the angry receptor. Wait a minute. We don't have that. Okay. Send out the serotonin. Yeah, man, that's cool, bro. That's radical, man. See? So now look, we have now achieved at a point where it has been
Okay.
proven that what I'm saying isn't causing you to be angry, right? The anger is only on your end.
I don't
So
think that's
Okay.
proof
Okay.
to
mathematically,
No.
this.
No.
That's
But
not
this.
a natural thing to fucking have
No. No.
heroin in you,
No. No.
dude.
No. Okay. 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 No. No. Okay. I know. I understand what you're saying. You're missing the point, Tarquin. You're saying that it is not the person that is nudging it. That is pushing that person over. For instance, if I was to roll a ball into another ball, that ball hitting the other ball directly moves the molecule, directly has molecules touching the other ball's molecules to like roll the other ball, right, or to like put force into it. What Shakar is saying, there's a third is like what Shakar is missing though is that there is a third party, and that third party isn't your consciousness, but it is your biology.
yeah, but like we've already established that you can control your biology, like you can control what you feel. Like the whole monk thing. Then we talk about that, like the whole monk thing, like
We've
they're
talked
able to
about
control
monks,
that
but
shit.
can everyone be a monk?
Well, why not? Do you not believe in free will? We literally said this.
You
Everyone has
think
a
a
potential
baby
to
could
do
become
that.
a monk, Shikar?
A baby could definitely be a monk. Do you know there's an 8-year-old Dalai Lama? Did you
No, no,
fucking know that?
a baby,
Babies are monks,
baby.
bro.
So if you're saying the baby has the ability, like say if you yell at a baby, right? Most of the time they'll fucking become scared,
Or they'll
right?
cry.
Do you think
What?
that a baby has the ability to control their fear?
Well, babies' brains aren't developed that much. I mean, they control it to the
Well, we're
capacity
not
of
fully
they
developed
can.
until like 25 years old on a
Okay.
I
biological
agree.
level.
Okay, but okay, that
But
that
does
that
that
is
not mean
true.
that once that baby hits 25, they have the potential to become a monk?
Yeah, but we're talking about in the moment, Shikar. We're not talking
No, we're
about
not.
just.
We're talking about free will. We're talking about who has the potential.
Well, the baby
Everyone.
didn't have the free will in the moment, Shikar.
Okay, well,
Yeah, they had the ability
Not
to.
true. Baby will did have their free will. Tarquin, I don't think you understand what free will truly means. Free will means do they have the potential in the moment? And the baby does have the potential in the moment to control their emotions. Do they have
let's
free will in the moment? They definitely do. They have the potential in
They
the
just
moment
don't.
to become somebody. How,
okay.
Tarquin? How,
No,
Tarquin?
okay,
You
okay,
tell me they
okay,
have
okay.
the potential when
Shakar
they become
Shakar's right
25?
about this one.
What?
Because the thing is what we already previously established that free will isn't like your will to do something then, but your will, but like free will, the ability eventually to make that change, or to like be that way. That's what we've established. That's what free will meant. So Shakar is like kind of right about that. But the thing is but it's not assured. That's where you're locking the assurance.
No, I mean anybody has a potential, whether they can do it or not. Remember, it takes a really, you know.
Yeah, but a baby just does not have the potential.
I mean, yeah, it does.
What do you mean? That baby's gonna grow into a man. When
No, no,
Like,
you
no. In that moment, they just don't have the
yeah,
potential.
They
Tarkin.
totally do have the free will
No, they
in that
don't.
moment.
They just fucking they don't. What do you mean?
Okay, no,
Not
Tarkin.
true.
Okay,
Tarquin, you don't
communication
understand
issue,
what that means.
communication issue. This is where we've already Tarkin. We've previously established that when we reference the word free will, the free
Yeah,
will
it's not
and
the.
that.
I'm not talking about the baby choosing. No, they just don't have like the ability to think that
Tarquin,
shit
you
through in
once
the
again
first
aren't
place.
Yeah, but
understanding what
that's
free
not
will
what free will
means.
means at all. That's not what free will means at all in this scenario. That is entirely irrelevant. The only free will we are talking about is is the potential to one day or the potential to change in that way. I can reference this in our past
Of
conversation
course
when
they.
we
Oh,
made
okay,
the.
of course they have the potential. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. When we made
Exactly. So they
that's all
have
we're
the
saying.
free
That's
will
all
to
we're
be able
saying.
to
It's
do
a
that.
communication error. So we've made this
You still
assertion
made them
when
upset in the moment.
no, yeah, sure, but that's completely irrelevant to this discussion because
Awesome.
an undeveloped brain is not doesn't like entirely doesn't at all like represent or isn't entirely indicative of what human potential can do. So, for instance, if
Well,
a
for the
human like
for a
Look,
lot
do
of
you not
human life, your
believe
brain is
that instead of
technically undeveloped.
processing Tarquin, tell me if you agree with this. Instead of
Okay.
processing these kids in America through these public schooling measures where you're training them into these machine factory fucking learning pieces of shit, where then getting pushed out to go to college while they're depressed and unhappy, get 40K student loans after they graduate, fucking, all that shit, all that bullshit, right? Do you not believe that'd be more beneficial to teach these kids to love themselves, to care about themselves, and then in turn they will care about their own pursuit of happiness?
I
And they'll
think
pursue their own fields with their own happiness. If we taught these kids how to pursue their own happiness, do you not think they would pursue what they want for truly indicative measures of trying to make the world a better place than they found it? Do you not believe that?
sure, I think for
I
a
mean,
long time I've been under that agreement that I've thought about this on my own accord a lot that that I think schools should teach like philosophy, the ways of thinking much, and that should be completely like that should be ingrained into the curriculum, like the way you think about things, the way you go
My
about
mom
thinking
just
about.
woke up for work. I think I need to go.
Or we will resume this tomorrow when I can think,
mhm.
because when I'm not when my actually like my brain
Dude,
is actually like
woke
on.
up. What the fuck? If she catches me awake, oh my god, it's over. I'm going to go.
Shikar,
Yes.
Shikar, I just
I
want to tell
am
you
mom.
this before you go. I just want to tell you that a lot of what you said today has like, even though like we started to debate the semantics, this was mainly just for like enjoyment. But like
Mhm.
genuinely, like a lot of what you said, like especially earlier on, like before Tarquin was here, like highly fucking resonated with me, and like basically all of what you said, I will like incorporate into my life. Like,
She's
and
factual.
thing is, like, yeah, that basically like just the supplies we were talking about earlier, like even like the friends, like and like how like developing close relationships. I think like almost entirely of what you said, like it directly correlates with like my fucking shit cut out.
All right, let's go. Move to Alex VC, call him a nigger, and
Am
then
I
go.
back? Okay, I'm back.
All
My
right.
fucking computer stopped. I think all of what you said like directly correlates to like how like I felt and like ways to handle my
Wait.
emotions. So basically, short. Thank
Okay.
you for like fucking like talking to me about like all this shit.
Yeah, bro, I got you,
And
bro.
and
How long have
honestly,
we been awake for? 3 hours? 4 hours?
huh?
How long have we been awake for? 4 hours at this point?
What do you mean?
How long have we been awake for?
More than four
They're
hours? What?
talking about this.
Oh, since like Wix left. Yeah,
Nigga, we deserve to be scholars.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. The thing is,
Uh,
just for the latter like 2 hours, my brain is completely off. So,
okay,
but
I'm going to move us to Alex VC, call him a nigger, and then we.
okay,
You're a nigger, Alex. Alex, you're a nigger. Alex, you're a nigger. You're a nigger. You're a nigger. Good night.
okay. Now we disassemble. Good
Bye.
night, Shikar.
Hmm.
Are you
I
gonna?
still. Oh, what? Where the fuck did he go?